Miigwech, that was a warm-up song. We will now proceed with the grand entry. Miigwech, Yahweh, we will now have the women's hand drum. Miigwech, Yahweh, we will now have the posting of the flags. So if you have the flag, if you can make your way to the front. And while we are doing that, if we can have the drum render a song for the dancers that are here with us. And then following the posting of the flags, we will have Chief Keith Knott open the assembly with a prayer.
Morning, Alvin. Oh, is it okay? Yep. Well, we're hoping we can wrap up really quickly, then we're gonna do RT. Be there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The rules and procedures stuff.
So we got back, yeah, the motions is verbal, but
Yeah.
it's not for resolutions. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
just a resolution on the floor.
Good morning. Ani, bonjour, sego. Let's go to Alados. Let's have one more round of applause for our little singers here and our dancers. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I want to see Yamagoa Miigwech for everybody this morning. Say Yawa for the drum. And for our dancers. I do want to ask Chief Knott if he would come forward and start us off with a prayer.
Ane bojo. Anin bojo. Goodness gracious. Are we supposed to go to Ottawa and rally? Well, let's hear it. Ani bojo. Ah, mi sayo. Mi gwes min on dikit. Kakwet mi go on mon min o shibigi kitaon. Tinama orga. Mi gwes sandin gana song shem de to kam mi shanks min on ogam. Esgis gak. Ugat tom gus min so chikisep skus young ma chipishayang. Kaya we can get in the meeting where I hope you understood what I said. It's nice to be here this morning. Nigan Kapwin Dishnikas, Mokwa, Mokes and Dodam, Oshgik Mong Non Jaba, Kimandao. Good morning, everybody, again. It's great to be here amongst us this morning. We're blessed with another beautiful day. I know it's difficult. We got up early this morning to come. I think I still got meaning water in my eyes. So, it's great to gather like this. And one good thing about it, the first peoples of this land, of all the trials and tribulations we have been throughout the many years since contact, our humor has kept us together. Our laughter keeps us together. They've tried everything to bring us down, but we are here as one. And that is why we're heading for the big city, to show them we have one voice. And the way that we have been treated over these many years, now is the time for us. And we can't wait any longer to stand up and let them know who the boss is. I also like to acknowledge the Eagle staffs that are here. The drum, the heartbeat this morning to bring us all in. The beautiful children, the dancers that performed for us here this morning. I think they all still need a big round of applause. As you can see, what we're doing here today, it's not that far long ago that we were unable to do this. And that's one more step that we can exercise our traditional way of doing things, our ceremonies. And this is what we are looking at when we go to these big cities, to show our presence there and let them know in those big cities that we are the boss. We want to let them know that also. Our voices have to be heard. It's great to have the regional chief, Nishnabek chief, AFN chief speak, but it's the communities that has to speak. We have to throw our voices out there, throw them out there in the wind, let them blow across this nation so everyone can hear on who we are, our purpose, and what we stand for. I know I have a difficult time trying to explain myself in English, so I'm going to try a little bit in our language. I get any kundig to. I is way bakstanogum. Mi guys ik tamugus young sale. Ni gan na kaya hi with me no chini ya young. Ko man on sa kaya na kaya ga shi want. Mi no go me shi gi ka young yo. We know that that we gi ka walk pi. Ki we swing a put you a bear. Gani gan situ min so. We know that we have most na do now. Di gan gawin what chini ya shawat. Ab gishe sa getting ganama. Gzemnedo. Miguel Semino ne kid nugum es gijak. Miguel Semino de kid gamishong se na sawin. We do kusnang Semino de kid gzemnedo es gdak tuong. Ani na kegas chigayong wagnes kekas chigayong kek kidayong. Chinuda huang sa piki kidayong. Makwena manonik sa kinagaw es kitu scotch bijos swamanogam. Makwen manonik sa gagay oxygen. Eskinigot gag oxygen. Pinujin sak. Makwen manonik sa gagay. Kabe kisi wat sa monika. Jago sa iskote. Mish kayin was sa gayim skausiwin. Kudagwas misak chimishong sa kanayip skausiwin. Kinu mar zuide gag sa gagawin. Men ook eigenlijk niet met kennen. Ze hebben nog maar te jongs te gaan niet. Mijn was zeggen de was me go. Ze koop me jong. Me was zeggen de kids go. Commission ga koop de man. Zo scotte. Ke. Nebe. Gaan oden. Kien. Pen me gooien sa. Ze op de chenang. Ze me jongs gaan. Na kegen hier zo jong. Menoske genuda gomen. Ze me go kijken te jong. Mzego. Ni piki te jong. Die wijze koop dat men zei commission. Ze koop de man. We know waar ik wijze shinat te wordt. Mzego junior. Meer ze wijze begonnen te mission sa kinem skouzi win. Kijken te win. Ze nu daar gewoon sta. We zeggen nog wat je kijkt wat men ons zo nog om werken hebben gezegd door. Amigwetch, miigwetch, miigwetch, amigwetch.
Chief, for those powerful words in the prayer this morning to start us off. As you can see, we have a bit of a different agenda today. We've come together today, which would be the first day of our 3-day Chiefs Assembly as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Chiefs of Ontario as an organization. But unfortunately, because of the political happenings around us and the need, as the Chief has mentioned, the importance to bring the grassroots and the voice of the rights holders to Ottawa on an important issue, That's legislation that's being pending, that's going through the process right now in Ottawa. So what we have done is we've modified the agenda. We've made arrangements for transportation. There are buses to shuttle folks to Ottawa. I thought it was important that we bring your voice, our collective voice together to Ottawa to express our opposition to what right now is Bill 5, piece of legislation that the government intends on what they ramming through legislative processes that will have far-reaching effect in your communities. And so today, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to all gather in Ottawa for 12:30. And then tomorrow we'll begin what would be, I guess, a regular business day. But it's nothing's regular about the next 3 days. There's a number of fundamental issues that we need to discuss. There are directions and positions that we need to strategize and think about what the best approach is for us here in our region to ensure that your voice is being heard, not only in Ontario, but in Canada, but also ensuring that your inherent jurisdiction and authority of your communities is being protected and not being eroded by colonial legislation that continues to take away, continues to threaten the most fundamentally important stuff that we have. And so as we begin our session today, I want to say miigwech and yawangoa, welcome all of you. Thank you for the prayer this morning, our drum, our sacred items, our Eagle staff. That sets the tone for the next 3 days. It's so refreshing to see the children here this morning dancing, and it reminds us of the work that we do as political leaders, why we're here, and the work that we have to do to continue to advance and to protect the most valuable resources that we have. That's the lands, territory, resources for our children, for your children. And so with that, what we're going to do is I'm going to welcome the chief up to say a few remarks. And I want to say miigwech to her for accommodating. We had 3 days scheduled to be here with the community. And I know that today, as I mentioned, we'll be going to Ottawa. And I say miigwech for the understanding of all of you. This is a Chiefs Assembly. And so I want to say miigwech for that. Yawangoa. And then we'll move into is the procedural part. We'll accept the rules of procedure. We'll adopt a resolution appointing the speakers for the next 3 days. And then what we'll do is we'll set an agenda for today, which we have a draft, was basically the opening protocols, and then we'll adjourn for the day. And then tomorrow we'll have a discussion about the fulsome agenda, because I know that as we've seen, we want to add different agenda items, but unfortunately this morning time is of the essence. And that's because we do have, about a 3-hour drive into Ottawa. So we really want to be wrapped up on the road so everybody can get there safely. And we can be in Ottawa at Parliament Hill for 12:30, 1 o'clock, where we'll spend a couple hours and we'll have speakers. There are speakers in this room. We'll have an opportunity for rights holders as well. And we'll have guests speaking as well in opposition to Bill C5. So with that, I do want to welcome up Chief Carr from the Hiawatha First Nation to say a few remarks this morning and to start us off before we go into the procedural part of today's meeting.
Bonjour, Minokajab, Etikdodem, Ajajakdodem, Megazekwe Lori Noswin, Michisagi, Anishinaabe, and Dow, Gima Hiawatha. Good morning, everyone. I am from the Hoof clan, relation to the Crane clan on my mother's side, and chief of our community of Hiawatha. I was always taught to begin by giving thanks, so I'd like to begin by offering our gratitude and thanks to the elders and for the ceremony that opened our day in a good way, to our drum group, Michisagi Minoman, for grounding us in the heartbeat of our people, to our women's drum and singers, to the Haudenosaunee water drum, to our dancers who eloquently helped us this morning as part of our day and get that moving. They look so beautiful this morning. And to the Eagle staffs, the flags, and all the sacred items and medicines that are present with us. To the veterans and our veteran Tom Cowie, if you can raise your hand over there, Tom. To our youth, the LGBTIQ2S citizens, Regional Chief, the members of the Leadership Council, our chiefs, and everyone in attendance. And our council is here today. We do have some of our council, if they could just raise their hand. And thank you for coming out. To all our citizens that are here, thank you for coming out and joining us. And to our staff persons, I'd like to acknowledge Lonnie and Laura for all their work, and our staff, all our staff who assisted them, and to Rebecca Rivers, and to everyone who attended the COO golf tournament. Miigwech for your support. It was a great day to be outside, but I always say any day on the golf course is a good day. So miigwech to you all. But in saying that from yesterday, I would also like to acknowledge Sandy Lake and Chief Kakagimik and her community and all that they're going through right now with the fire and those. We do have some of our brothers and sisters from Sandy Lake in Peterborough. And on behalf of our community, yesterday, with two of the challenges, we raised $680, and we'd like to top that up to $1,000 and donate that to Sandy Lake for their efforts. Now into more formalities. A special thank you to Chief Keith Knott of Curve Lake for his opening prayer. It is an honor to have asked him to open this assembly, knowing that this will be his final assembly in the role of chief. He will always be a chief. Hiawatha First Nation holds a long-standing and beautiful relationship with Chief Knott. He is a friend to our community, a family, a friend to my family, a mentor, a colleague, and someone who I hold close to my heart. I will never forget the honor of hearing him speak our language in prayer at my father's funeral, a request made by my father. Today, I honor that love and we as a community acknowledge and thank Chief Knott for his years of service, leadership, and friendship. Miigwech, Chief. We gather at a pivotal moment for First Nations peoples within the colonial political landscape, especially in light of Ontario Bill 5 and now Canada's Bill C5, which we know is being rushed through the process. Each day brings new reports on the growing threat of climate destruction. We are not only reading about it, we are living it. Windstorms, ice storms, wildfires across Ontario and beyond. We are also continuing to face racism in our everyday lives. Despite this, we carry this sacred responsibility passed to us by our ancestors to care for the lands, the waters, and all of creation, for our children and grandchildren, and for the generations to come. We must draw upon the strength and guidance of our ancestors, the wisdom of our knowledge keepers, and the resilience of our peoples. We must be the hope for our young people and our grandchildren. They deserve to believe in a future where they will have the opportunity to live beautiful lives, to live Minoba Madzawin. And when our treaties were formed, we knew that nothing was surrendered. We agreed to share the wealth of these lands so all people could prosper. That agreement has not been honored, and that injustice continues to this day. Everyone deserves to grow up in a safe and healthy environment. It is time to move beyond our conversations about the denial of rights and to commit to protecting and upholding those rights. We have the right to say no, and we have the right to say yes. Free, prior, and informed consent ensure Indigenous peoples have the right to make decisions about projects affecting our lands, territories, and resources. It is recognized in the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People and is linked to the right of self-determination. FPIC requires the consent is obtained without coercion, intimidation, or manipulation, and it is essential for respecting the right of our peoples in any decision-making process that impacts us. It is not just language and policy, it is the foundation of our sovereignty, our ability to decide what does and does not happen on our lands and to our waters. This is not only the future of our peoples, for all peoples who live here. So in the spirit of our ancestors, grounded in mutual respect and driven by our strength and resilience, let us use this time together to build Manoba Madzawin for our future. I will say prayers for a successful and peaceful rally today, and that our voices are heard and carried forward by our ancestors. Miigwech, and once again, welcome to our community.
Now, Chief, for that and for setting the tone for today as well. I'll limit my comments. I've said a few things, but we'll tomorrow when we dive into the agenda a bit more, there'll be an opportunity to offer a bit more reflections on a number of the things that we've been doing at the Chiefs of Ontario in the Regional Chiefs Office on your behalf. But at this time, I do want to ask for a call for a motion to formally adopt the rules of procedure and code of conduct. And that was provided to you by a link, and it continues to be the same rules of procedure and code of conduct that we have used in previous meetings. So if I could have a mover to accept that your Chief, second. All right. We have a mover and seconder on the motion to formally adopt the rules of procedure and code of conduct. Is there any discussion on that resolution, on that motion, sorry? What? If none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Any abstentions? Any against? All right, the motion's carried to formally adopt the rules of procedure and code of conduct. At this time, I'd like to call for a mover and seconder to formally accept our speaker for the Chiefs of Ontario 2025 Spring Chiefs Assembly, which would appoint our speaker as Adam Fiddler, along with Vera Tabagadan and Hannah Swell. Could I have a Swell? Could I have a mover for that? All right, over here, Chief, second. All right, which for that? Do we have a mover and seconder to adopt our three speakers? Is there any discussion on that motion? If none, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? Yeah, for that. All right, at this time, I'll turn it over to Adam to Vera to take us through the small formalities of this morning. And as I mentioned, we'll accept an agenda for just today's portion, and tomorrow morning we'll accept the more fulsome agenda for the 2 days of dialogue that we're going to have. So, Miigwech.
Thanks. Ontario Regional Chief Miigwech, and I want to say Miigwech Kinawea for having the belief and the confidence that I can boss you around for a few days. So I want to remain your friend and say I'm not going to talk about any agenda. I'm going to let Adam do that. He really likes to do that. And we'll say miigwech and look forward to spending the next 3 days with you and the Eagle staffs, who are really the bosses here in this room. And that we will remember that they are present, that they have spirit, and they need to be loved too. So with that and my remembrance about all of the teachings that we encourage, and will support all of the work that you do, that we will share our love and our kindness. And as we've seen this morning already, the great beauty and the great uplifting of our spirits by those children, that we will remember that is our real work, is to keep the way clear for our children and our grandchildren and many children yet to be born. So say miigwech and ask my niece and friend Hannah Sewell. Yeah.
Anin, nori no si kwen dijnakas Megazed Dodem, Anishinaabe Kwe and Dao. My name is Hannah Sewell. I'm from Batchewana First Nation, and I'm going to be a co-MC. I'm up here as the OFNYPC co-chair, and we have members of our council here as well. I'm super excited to stand alongside of everyone today and go rally. And if you have any questions or anything, if there's any way that I can support anyone in the assembly out throughout the 3 days, I'm here to help. So miigwech for having me up here. It's lovely to have a youth voice up here. Miigwech.
Miigwech Hannah, Wajie Sego, Ani Bojo, Guajim na agakna maga bijay na da jwega bon jinkas mi gagijin kan jangimes na me bendo dem gwa nengo zagning donji dan shinyo guajim na agakna na nakum gai sigma bijayek mando na nakum mi gwech na gai sigma jmamoshkayak mi geni ne jens damog jinigani tamagwek maga da jinjigek kitchen q and ga biento and quademic. So my English name is Adam Fiddler. I'd like to acknowledge and say miigwech for allowing Vera to boss you around for the next couple of days. Miigwech for having us. We have quite a few announcements, and normally we would go through the agenda as Vera indicated, but what we will do, as ORC indicated, we will defer adopting the agenda until tomorrow morning. We have a lot to discuss. In fact, we need to get out and get on the road to Ottawa. There's a lot happening. So we want to do this fairly quickly. But having said that, there's a couple of things. We are aware that this is a very special assembly. This is the 50th anniversary for Chiefs of Ontario at this gathering. So there is a video. We'd like to play a trailer of a video. And we have some very quick announcements regarding the plans to get to Ottawa. Of course, the rally, dealing with Bill C5 on Parliament Hill. It's going to be about 3 hours to get there. So we need to get going. We've got some quick announcements. But first, we'd like to introduce the video. So if we can have the team put it up on the screen. And it's, if I can get Brian McMahon actually to the front to do a quick introduction before I think we're going to be going to the video. I'm looking to the team in the back, and I'll have Brian just come and introduce the video. Again, a very special assembly, the 50th anniversary.
I don't know. I'm going to tell us. So, Deb, are you okay with Deb going with us?
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces. Dave, hello. Still look young, Dave. Yeah. About 6 months ago, the Chiefs of Ontario approached me about potentially making a documentary about the 50th anniversary of this great organization. And in our initial meetings, one of the conversations was about stories and how many stories we could tell about the last 50 years. And we tentatively started the beginning of doing the research and looking at what is out there to talk about over the last 50 years. Obviously, the big flashpoints are right in front of us, and we can name those pretty easily. But as we started to go through archive and look at resolutions from meetings past, we saw all kinds of stories that no one knows or people forget, or those that were there have maybe walked on and are no longer with us. And so as we worked with that archive, we realized very quickly how special this project would be for our communities and for our people. And we are squarely in production through until about the end of September. We're in communities filming. We're here with you this week. And on behalf of our documentary crew that are making this project, we want to say that you all have stories to tell. And if you want to share those stories, to be in touch, there's a page on the Chiefs of Ontario website. You can be in touch and we'll have that conversation. We want to tell a complete story of what has happened here as the Chiefs of Ontario continues to make history. We just this past week secured a deal with the CBC where the Chiefs of Ontario will be acquiring in totality the entire CBC archive of all things relevant to First Nations in Ontario. That means we will be, it's going to be probably, a multi-year project, certainly outside of the scope of our documentary. But if your community, if your elders' names have ever made the news at CBC, we're going to be acquiring those materials. And Carmen Jones will be working on collecting and keeping all of that data safe. And that will be all passed off onto the people. And we negotiated that with a very clear message, which is our stories are important and our stories belong to us. And it's up to us to share them back to the people. And so this short trailer is representative of the story that we aim to tell. It's the story that we have so far. We have many, many more weeks of filming. And so we wanted to share this in the spirit of spreading the word of the project and hopefully inspiring good conversation over the next couple days. So miigwech.
They say a good story has no real beginning, middle, or end. The elders say when telling a story, this is just how I remember it, or this is how it was told when I heard it. Well, let me tell you a story. This is how it is being told to me.
Good evening, happy weekend. Tonight, a special 16th edition of News Magazine, in which we look at the white paper on constitutional reform tabled in the House of Commons this afternoon by Prime Minister Trudeau.
But if anybody read the 69 white paper, these writers were good. The common person reading that maybe would never really understand the dynamics of the politics of really what they were talking about.
The federal government therefore urges all Canadians to
join it in settling this question without further delay by renewing our federal pact and our sense of belonging to this country.
One of the things I learned later on in life was about the Indian Act. After 1951, what they tried to do to us is they tried to change us wholesale. When the Indian Act started, they amended the heck out of the Indian Act. That's how the white paper came to be. And now we're in the third phase of the Indian Act.
Aux Canadiens et singulièrement aux Indiens eux-mêmes, qu'il faut un choix, ou bien on entre dans la société canadienne de plein pied, on est égal devant la loi, on a les mêmes droits que les autres Canadiens, ou alors on reste à part, on a des lois particulières et on est des citoyens un peu différents, pas des citoyens à part entière.
Right after the War of 1812, they've been trying to figure out how to get rid of us. All this legislation is ramping us right off our freeway onto a ramp and into their municipalities. For us, getting a response on the ground to the white paper was immense.
Remember, since 1973, there was no such thing as a cell phone.
You know what we had when we started? With typewriters. That's how we got information to communities.
You know, the communications of this caravan that was coming across the country was generating a lot of interest.
We didn't write the Indian Act. I propose to abolish the Indian Act. Your people refuse.
There is no honor in the Crown when we are looking at, it is their duty to consult with us, and that is what their job is, to consult with us. There's 133 communities in Ontario, and they need to begin that consultation process, or else this is not going to go forward.
10,900 days. That's 29 years, 10 months, and 4 days of our boil water advisory. We don't see an end in sight.
I went to a residential school, and many of you have too. I have grandkids and great-grandkids. You have too. And those are the vulnerable people that are expecting that now is an opportunity to be able to make decisions and have certain control in looking after the children and families.
On Monday, it's on the PIA, a Remembrance Day, and our people went out from their homelands to help save this country. We ask you of the same, to help us in protecting our waters and our lives.
So when diplomacy, negotiations, and fighting don't work, we just fight harder.
We have to stand up and protect our land, what's in it, on it, above it, underneath it.
We are inherent as far as jurisdictional rights holders are concerned in these particular lands that are referred to now as Ontario.
If we're just blowing wind, then we're just blowing wind. If, in fact, a movement starts where the Ontario government and the mining industry start to move in up north in the Ring of Fire, but if I'm talking to Doug Ford, and I guarantee you I'll tell him the same thing I'm saying in this interview. You want to see another Oka? You're going to see it.
Miigwech, and again, just a quick trailer. If you wish to share, we know we have stories throughout Ontario. Please reach out to Brian. And where did Brian go? Brian was up here. Ryan. Oh, in the back, in the green shirt in the back. So with that, a couple of things. I think it's very important. I did not acknowledge the opening. I'd like to say miigwech this morning for the Mishizaging Manuman drum group that opened with a song. Of course, the water drum from Akwesasne and the ladies drum group from Hiawatha here, the host community. So miigwech, of course, Chief Keith Knott from Curve Lake, miigwech for the opening. And of course, Chief Carr for welcoming us into your community. Very quickly, Chief Carr has reminded me, for those people that are traveling to Ottawa, there are boxed lunches. I don't know if that's the right term, but there are lunches that have been prepared. They are out at the front. You can grab the lunch on your way out. Also, we've been reminded there are, I believe, 3 buses that are ready to take individuals, leadership to Ottawa, and many other people that are driving. So again, it's roughly a 3-hour drive to Parliament Hill. Please drive safe. I know it was fairly foggy out there earlier this morning, but I know it will lift. But everyone, please be safe. A reminder, we will go through and adopt the agenda tomorrow morning. So we'd like to get started fairly early, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, the rally, the protest against Bill C-5 starts 12:30 at Parliament Hill in Ottawa. So miigwech, safe journey. See you there. See you back here tomorrow morning. Miigwech.